All right, so this two isolation technique will help you develop your freestyle dance much further. So before I share these two techniques with you, the first question is, what is isolation? To me, isolation is the art of moving one body part or sometimes two body parts at a time. Yeah. So the goal is that the effect that you want is whenever you are moving this body part, the rest of your body is isolated, right? So yeah, so that's the effect. And the goal is to find a way, is to be as clean as possible when you are doing an isolation, so that we can clearly see the body part that is moving and the body part that is not moving. You see what I mean? And when you are able to really make and show the difference between both, right? The moving part and the non-moving part, then your isolation will look clean, right? And you will have the right effect. Yeah. So that being said, in this case, you want to train both technique. You want to train both approach. The first approach that I like to use to work on isolation is that I'm going to say, all right, I'm going to choose one body part, okay, one part of my body that I do not want to move, right? So I'm going to try to keep it pretty much at the same place, yes? And then I'm going to start moving the rest of my body. So for example, if it's my arm, I'm gonna say, okay, my arm is the part that I don't want to move, okay? So this is the part that I want to isolate from the rest of my body. And then I stop moving and I start playing around, and then my arm pretty much stay in the same place. And the goal for you is to try to keep this as clean as possible so the audience can truly see which part is being isolated and which part is moving. You see what I mean? This is the first way that I like to use isolation, and I like to practice isolation. Yeah. So just to give you an example, I'm gonna show you a quick demo where I'm using only one body part. Yeah, so I'm gonna focus on not moving my arm, and the rest of my body is moving, right? So you can clearly see which part is moving and which part is not moving. So, all right, so that's the first one. All right, so check this out and I'll see you after that. So once you understand this principle, and this is actually one of the best way to start working on isolation, and and also literally this will help you gain more body control as well as a freestyle dancer. So once you do that, the second step is that, okay, now you can start thinking, all right, I'm gonna start using selective part of my body. What I mean by that is that instead of saying, okay, I want to isolate this part, okay, my arm, and then I'm gonna move, the rest of my body. Now we're gonna work on the other way. So it's gonna be like, okay, maybe I wanna move only my head and my leg, right? But the other part of my body, I'm not gonna move it. You see what I mean? So now you start working on the other side, yeah? So which is, I move one part. So for example, it can be, all right, I'm gonna move my head, all right? I'm moving my head, but the other part of my body is not really moving that much, you know? So I'm actually isolating the rest of my body and I'm moving one part of my body or two parts at a time. Once again, do not overthink about it. It has to be natural. When you are freestyling, the more you think, the more you're gonna kind of jeopardize your freestyle, and you don't want that. You know, you can prevent yourself from doing a good performance if you overthink about the process. Yeah, we give exercises only for you to kind of have a better understanding of how you can use the tools, you know, to enhance your freestyle, yeah, to enrich your way of moving. Yes, but when it's come time to, you know, actually do the thing, do not overthink about it, because if you start being like, okay, I need to move my head and, you know, my shoulder now, and then you're gonna be like, okay, man, you know, it's too calculated. It's become too mechanical. Dancing has to be, you know, something that you do, you know, instinctively, right? But you just understand the principle of this exercise, but do not overthink about it, right? So once again, you are just playing with, okay, one body part that you want to move. It can be, okay, my head and shoulder, you know, I'm just moving my head and shoulder. These are the two parts that I want to move, and the rest of my body is kind of isolated. Does that make sense? The moment you can show the difference between both, which part is moving and which part is not moving, then you are doing your isolation well enough for the audience to see it and truly understand it. Does that make sense? So this is gonna be the next level of this exercise. This one can be a little bit more tricky and it's a bit more advanced, but it's the second step, you know? You're just moving one body part or two body part at a time, right? But you select and it constantly change. It's not always the same one. If you start your freestyle with your head, you can decide, okay, now it's gonna be my legs, now it's gonna be my hand, now it's gonna be my shoulder, now it's gonna be my chest, you know? So you keep moving, you select while you are freestyling, and everything has to be smooth, and you know, you need to be doing this naturally, right? So that's the next step, and as usual, I'm gonna show you a quick example of what I'm talking about, so you can see how I use this principle, just as an example. So then and hopefully this can inspire you to do your own thing as well. All right, so check this out, and I'll see you after that. Alright guys, so like I said before, it's very important to truly not overthink about it, because you can quickly get overwhelmed if you start thinking too much about it. You really don't need to. The moment you understand the process, the moment you understand the principle, then you just play with it. And the more you play with it, the more you're gonna be able to do it naturally. You can start with the first step, which is focusing on isolating one part of my body, and then I keep moving the rest of my body. Because this can be a bit easier because you know that you are focusing on not moving only one part of your body. The more you, then once you feel comfortable with that, you can start playing, with, moving different part of your body at a time. You select which one you want to do, all right? But once again, freestyle is something that has to be done instinctively. Do not overthink it, all right? So that's it for today, guys. And as usual, if you find value from this video, make sure to subscribe to the channel so you can stay updated with all the videos coming, all right? And if you like more videos like this and more training, more in-depth training, simply click on the link in the description below and you will have much more details on how you can get access to much more in-depth training, okay? So I'll see you next time, next video. Thank you for watching this one. Peace. Bye-bye.